Welcome back, everybody. I have some a case of MON1st to open for the shop and do a bit of an update. So, elephant in the room, FUNDER got cancelled forever. It's done. I don't believe it'll be a rectifiable issue. But I won't get into the details. Sorry if you got clickbaited into this video, but it's just in case you weren't aware. All right. I missed 2 rares, didn't I? No. They are after. Yep. Okay. Haven't opened Monarch in a minute. I might make 4 piles. Tokens separate. There. So, yeah. We won't be filming in New Zealand. We won't be recording any more episodes. I can give you some very high, high-level, fine... what's the way to explain? I'm not going to give you a lot of detail, but look, it's recorded in my lounge room. It's a fun project that stopped being fun. That's the thing. I'm not willing to. I didn't really want to turn into a business. It's already a lot of work for what I'm willing to put in, and there were some differences we just couldn't get over. But yeah, that's all you need to know. I will probably pick up doing some more video conversation content, which I'd already been doing on the channel, like my James White interview. I've had Saint on, I've had Chris Size on. That's not going to stop. It's just FUNDER in the format that it was. Is done. The podcast style is done. It was really fun while it lasted. Some crazy good content on that, so it'll stay up. You can go watch it at any point. There's some very, very... what's the word for it? I'll say educational. Some very educational content on there. A lot of good content. I'm very proud of the work we did. Very happy with the guests we chose, mostly. But yes, that's FUNDER. Regarding the shop, we have, by the time you see this video, we would have restocked or stocked up white border in a very big way. So check that out. Pretty much every legendary that's available in white border is up on the site. I think there's still a couple of tunics available as of the recording of this video. And also we've purchased a sizable alpha collection. So there'll be a lot of alpha commons and rares, a lot of code for alpha legendaries going up, or first ed in general, including Arcane Rising. What else is going to be going up? WTR Unlimited, which I streamed recently. You'll be able to see all of that. The heart's already sold, but most of the stock is still readily available. But the really high-end, oof, that's a nice hit. Foil Beacon of Victory. I don't know if it's super valuable, but it's a very important card in Bolton. So we've... the shop's been crazy busy still, even after the initial launch, which was very crazy, but it's still keeping us very busy. We're still buying collections, so that in and of itself creates a lot of work, sorting. Well, we got to quote it, buy it, ship it, and then sort it. No one ever sells your collection sorted, let me tell you. And then list it. But I think we're on a good groove. We have a third person helping us sort. He's an absolute machine. So we also have confirmation finally with distribution. So there's a good chance we're going to try and get Uprising and Dynasty, which again, you'll see me open all the stock more or less on the channel before it hits the site. So if you keep an eye out, you'll know what's coming up. But we're very short on Dynasty and Uprising, Majestics and Legendaries. So... we want to open a whole bunch of that for the channel, and it also means we'll be placing our order for Outsiders. So if everything lines up, we're going to have a whole bunch of Outsiders, and because there's no box breaks, we're probably going to open the majority of it off camera so that it's listed and ready for launch, and then we'll do a big stream. I imagine 10 to 20 cases live streamed as we usually do. Get you guys well, we never really... I don't think we've ever spoiled anything in those streams, but I usually end up being one of the first to crack some of the higher end cards. The Dynasty stream was insane. We hit every single card. Fortunately for me, this time I won't be doing it for other people, so it'll actually be beneficial, because my Dynasty cases were terrible, but you guys got every card in the set. We got the Fable Command and Conquer. We got Marvel Emperor, Cold Foil Emperor. We got everything. Everything you could possibly hit that's rare in that set. So I'm not going to make it a habit of opening Monarch First Ed, but we got this as part of a collection I was buying. And, of course, since I can't do box breaks, this would have ended up just being box breaks. I usually wouldn't touch this set to open. The EV is atrocious with the heroes in it. Either they're too weak or they're living legend now. But it doesn't make the cards completely useless in the future. So I'm going to open it, list the cards, and then, one day maybe get some of my money back on this case. But it is a fun set to open, so at least some of you will like watching this, and whether it's nostalgia or you just like the art. Unfortunately, this set just got a bad rep, but it's one of the coolest sets to open. Had a lot of good hits. The extended arts in them are it's so subtle. The foiling is so subtle on Monarch if you've never opened it. I think the colors being dark. We're working out discounts, by the way, so at some point, hopefully before... Whew, that's a good hit. Foil Tome of Divinity. Unfortunately... Well, actually, it doesn't matter because we've got 3 more boxes to go, but ideally, in that foil Majestic slot, you're hitting the extended art. Very, very rare to hit one, but that's what you're hoping for. There's a Pulping. That's a good hit. Pulping is one of the strongest brute cards ever printed. And it happens to be in this set, which is not ideal for how many of them exist in the world. Yes, discount codes. We are working on that. There'll be something for members. There'll be something for in a mail out, which I'm going to try and send emails out on flukeandbox.shop for when we do big restocks. So if you haven't yet, jump on there and subscribe to the mailing list. Time Skippers, Cold Foil. It's funny how when sets come out, like the commons in this set were not super well received. Because the values dropped quite rapidly, but like Time Skippers is quite powerful. It's actually played same as Mage Master Boots. It just has that like basically Time Skippers is go again on anything. You gain 2 action points. It's a good counter card into Prism Auras on certain decks. I don't know how much is played these days, but I know some decks used to run it. It's one way to play Tome out of Arsenal. Mage Master Boots is cheaper, but I think Mage Master Boots reads Go Again. This reads Action Point, and it lets you kill 2 Spectre as well. Going and doesn't because the attack never resolves. Something like that. But if you don't own those in cold foil at the price they are now, it may not be the worst purchase long term. No other boots have this text on it, basically. Huh. Foil Mark of the Beast. Again, we would have loved to see extended art here. Some spec buying stuff. This is a very good hit. This is the generic Majestic to hit in the set. So, we've been seeing spoilers calling indies happening, and the vendors were given spoilers, which is kind of cool. So, I was right. A lot of people said I was wrong, thinking that they'll only be Majestic dual class cards, but we now know that there's going to be plenty of dual class cards. The Ninja combo card that came out is very interesting because it says any card with Whelming Gust Wave played before gives the new card -2 cost, which makes it a 0 cost. Also, Ranger's got a card that destroys Arsenal. It's a 1 for 6, which is a above rate card for sure. The reason that's important, I won't get into like specific cards I would buy or not buy, but for instance, any card that has that has Gust Wave in it might be worth buying playsets. I think we have them for like $1 for 3 of them or whatever. Like, we're not jacking up the prices, so I would buy that set if you're planning to play Ninja, because who knows if that becomes a meta thing. And the obvious is Ranger Assassin cards are probably going to have a premium. I would warn you with Assassin is there's every chance there's reprints in this set. So be careful. Like, Surgical Extraction might be reprinted. I think the way I understand how print runs work is they would have known that they accidentally short printed Surgical before they printed Outsiders. So if that's the case and they wanted to fix it, that you might find Surgical Extraction in the new set. And if that's the case, then I'd be weary of how much Assassin stuff you hoard trying to make money. Also, new cards sometimes will just trump old cards, so don't spec. Like, what I'm saying is it's risky anyway. It's maybe a little too obvious to buy Assassin, Ranger, and Ninja cards. Also, remember, everyone else will be doing it. Like, if your first instinct is to buy certain cards, I would stop and see if there's something a bit more niche that might be worth buying. Like, as an example, there's a lot of like, what counters those decks is what I'd be thinking, is looking at the spoilers and stuff. If you're a bit of a deck brewer and understand or can predict a little on how the meta will work, try and figure out what beats the cards. What's going to get rid of these new tokens we've seen. Maybe Warhorn is good. There's Scour, which you can target. So Scour will deal 1 Arcane to you instead of dealing 2, which someone was saying this on Twitter. So if you think a little bit off kilt, I think is the word. If you try and think of it a little bit different to everyone else, you might find a little hidden something not so obvious on the surface, but actually make some money on this stuff. Obviously, I'm very anti like buyout stuff, but speculative is very different. If you're a player, go nuts, buy some cards you think might go up in value. Seeing 1 for 6s printed might actually hurt some staples. It might hurt things like Command and Conquer, because why would you play a 2 for 6 if there's a 1 for 6 that destroys Arsenal that you can play, And I think that particular card was Ranger Ninja, Ranger Assassin. I can't remember the exact. Either way, that's what I'd be doing, is not just looking at the obvious, what everyone else might be looking at, but thinking one level past the obvious to find some. Maybe you'll see something no one's seen or no one's seen yet. And if you do that, I wouldn't go publicizing it. Get yourself some of them. Good luck. Speaking of Outsiders, don't forget you can still buy the playsets. That will close at some point before launch. Cold Foil Footsteps. Thing is, in this set, we're not going to hit anything that looks meta, but, Phantasmal is still played in Dromai. I think it still holds. It's still probably the best legendary to hit, because it's Blitz, Prism, CC Dromai, CC, and Blitz Dromai. Yeah. That's cool. We hit 1 legendary. This is the second box. Let's hope the goal is hit more than 1. Look at the erudition. There's a second one too. It is. Can we slide it in? We can. All right. We're still... That might have taken up the foil majestic slot. I believe in Monarch it kind of does. Unhallowed Rights. I won't do a specific shop update like with the numbers and stuff. I just wanted to open packs, not necessarily do a just talking video today. But feel free to ask me. I'm happy to always get into some detail about how the shop's going. Someone contacted me today curious about like how we're doing with Japanese orders. I sent him some analytics. Like our third highest country for traffic and orders is Japan, which is surprising because they technically aren't officially supported yet. But I guess there's enough interest and people maybe are spec buying, getting in early. I've heard that the prices in Japan are very, very high, which is what happened in Europe too for a while. Ooh, Foil Genesis, there we go. So yeah, we're going to keep the free shipping to Japan. If you're in Japan listening to this, like a lot of people aren't using the code, which is great, but please feel free to use it. Get some extra value. You're generally saving $16 in shipping. Keep in mind though, I think I've put a value on it already. Actually, I fixed it, but we're not shipping orders of like 20 cents, you know. I think the order has to be $100 minimum just to make the shipping actually be able to be covered. You don't make that much margin on singles, believe it or not. But yeah, keep an eye out. Very soon you'll see a whole bunch of alpha slabs go up, as well as a whole bunch of alpha commons and rares, majestics, a few foils, not a huge amount because obviously alpha foils are worth a lot in a lot of cases. Pack 1 library. All right. Okay. Man, we've been very lucky with these landscape fables lately. I wish we were this lucky when we open all that Arcane Rising for the shop. But anyway. Beautiful. Coldfoil library. Another one. We don't have one on the shop currently, so I might even grade that. That looks pretty clean. Man, it's so shiny. I'm doing 4 stacks of cards so that the equipment and tokens are separate. It'll help whoever ends up having to sort this. But yeah, I'm not a spec buyer at all. I've never really... Because I genuinely, till we opened the single store, had no interest in making money off the hobby. Even now, I haven't made money off the hobby. Everything we're selling is getting reinvested. We're trying to build up a war chest of sorts so we can buy, you know, more stock, more sealed stock to open. Sealed stock is a risky thing to do. Buying collections is less risky. So, you know, sometimes you just get unlucky. You open a whole bunch of cases, you don't hit the amount of legendaries or the right majestics, and you actually lose money. So, you need like foil pulping's nice. You need like cash. You need money. I believe, talking to a couple of people high up in distribution in Australia, the number one issue that they see stores have is being undercapitalized. So as much as we're busy and the orders are flowing in, we don't sit there and we haven't taken a cent out of the business and probably won't for a long time. And if you're listening to this ever thinking of starting a singles business or any business in general, the best way to do it... Ooh, arc lights. And we hit like some beautiful prism foils, huh? This is the prism case for sure. Some people are going to send me hate messages. Arclight, Genesis, Tome foil, Footsteps, and Library. Like, this is all you would have needed to really have all the high-end for prism. Now, if we hit a full art erudition, I would rage if I was a prism player. I am a prism player, but not the way other people are. So yes, starting a business, make sure you put what you can in capital-wise. You're going to have to sink a lot of time in. That's going to really come at very low return. But most importantly, it's really important, if you can help it, if you can afford to, do not take money out of the business for as long as possible. Reinvest. There's opportunity cost, or opportunity cost, meaning if you don't have cash and someone decides to sell their collection for 10 cents on the dollar and you can't afford it, you're losing that profit because you have overspent or taken money out. And there's just risk of you spend money on a specific set or product. You know, let's say you bought a whole bunch of cold fall Winter's Wales and they banned it, you know. You have to be able to handle that. You have to be in a diversified enough with stock, but also in a position financially that if you take a loss, it doesn't just completely kill your business, or it doesn't force you to sink more capital in. Like, you want the business to just be able to pay for itself, but as long as possible not pay you anything. And there's a compounding aspect to that. The longer you wait before taking money out of a business, the more money you will end up taking out of the business. Because it should, if you have a good business model, it should be growing your money. The second you take money out, for whatever reason, that money is not making you money anymore. But let's hope I can practice what I preach, and we'll see. We'll see. We've spent a lot. We are not cash rich at the moment. Every cent we've brought in, turnover-wise, has pretty much gone back into buying more stock. Because you guys keep buying the stock we get. So keep it up. Can you comment below if you're still here and tell me if you're a member or not, which I can tell by, the icon near your name. But basically, if you're a member and would be interested in a higher tier membership for a steeper discount on the single store. And if you're not a member, if that would appeal to you, where, let's say, on average, if you spent $100 a month on the single store, you paid for your membership in discounts. Because I'm thinking somewhere between, I'm thinking around the $10 mark, minus, the fees that Google end up taking out, to basically give you guys, let's say if you spend $1,000 a month, you get a lot more than your membership, so it's irrelevant, but try and make it where if you spend $100, $150, you are actually positive EV on the membership. I think it's a cool function. Even Squarespace has a membership or a subscription service built in, but since the brand is pretty much my YouTube channel, that's band card. Yeah. Still, I use again. Monarch cold falls are not too bad value wise. Cannot complain. All right, we got one pack left in this box, and then one more box. But this is nuts already. This case, has it paid for itself? Probably close. Yes, it has. I think those two alone nearly cover the cost of a Monarch case. No, they don't actually. Thinking it's not $5. It's about 600 Australian to buy a Monarch case. So no, it hasn't. But here's a crazy story you guys wouldn't have seen. This case is not even the case I got in a collection. So I bought Monarch cases, and they got shipped to me, and one of them got opened. So I swapped the one that got opened, and I gave someone who wanted a Monarch case sealed that case. And then I kept the one that got opened to open on the channel. And there you go. There's a library in it. So first of all, it wasn't open for someone to weigh packs or something. Now we have proof. But also, it's always a funny thing where it's like damaged open stock, loose boxes. Sometimes just have the craziest luck. Everyone's too busy looking at the external state of the box. Do people play Tome of Torment? Very rarely. Oh no, Torment's not. I'm thinking of the other one. All right, Ironhide Legs. These are played. These are like Oldham plays them, I think. think the gloves are the ones you want. Played in more decks. Whoops, belittle. Alright, last box. I was going to open a case of Toa, but I'll keep that for another video. Don't worry, I'm still going to make just me talking videos. I know some of you like those, but for now... for now, this is enough. Also, we can't trump the luck we just got, so we'll end on a high note. We're actually, the sub number on the screen's wrong. We're at 3095. So please subscribe. I won't do like a 3100 sub giveaway, but it gets us closer to 5K, which is an alpha box giveaway. But I'll probably do something big at 4,000. So subscribe, share with your friends, join the channel if you are keen on getting... So you'll usually get early notification on restocks and stuff for the single store. I do giveaways for members only quite regularly these days, and you do get discount codes for the singles, and it usually is more than... Well, I mean, the current membership is only $3 a month, so it's not hard to get your value back for that. It'd be interesting to see if Bolton actually gets a few top 8s now that hypothermia is not a thing. So hypothermia is very... So, well, Bolton has a couple of issues. Bolton usually plays at a card disadvantage till he gets to a big Lumina turn. That's because that's currently how Bolton's played, mainly, is Lumina combo. But hypothermia would just say no to that turn. And usually Bolton can't afford to pitch into ice and still do. This is a great hit. This is a... I'm not sure what it's worth right now, but this is huge in very, very good card for Dromai. There's a Lumina, speaking of. So yeah, Bolton doesn't handle ice very well. Even though he's got a lot of yellows to pitch and stuff, he already needs to usually put at least one card in Soul. And then, you know, if you have to pitch one, attack with one, put one in Soul, one in Arsenal, it doesn't leave you any room to pitch into, like, hypothermia or whatever. But now that hypothermia is gone, and Winter's Well is gone, those matchups may actually be a lot more winnable for someone like Bolton. It may not benefit as other decks as much, but Bolton, out of all the decks, probably benefits a lot from, because they can get to their combo turn and quicker and can't be stopped as easy. Oldham can still Rampart, which will create one Frostbite, but you know, if you're playing into Oldham, you can always try and have a blue before you combo off or whatever. Like, there's ways to play around the obvious, but you know, hypothermia was very degenerate, and Winter's Well is... It's not hard to fatigue Bolton, I believe. Alright, a few packs left. Always wondered why they put a ninja-looking art in Monarch, but they did. That's a card that I've never seen played. Cannot believe Library and Footsteps. In this particular case, I had very low expectations. Anything that would make this case absolutely degenerate is another legendary, but more importantly, foil. We haven't seen a foil Majestic this box, I don't think. So foil Majestic. Mind you, someone will probably tell me that I put it in the rare pile or something, but extended art foil Majestic would be chef's kiss way to end this case. I think there's like 4 or 5 packs left, but I think we've seen none. It's roughly 2 a box. Yeah, we're way under rate. There we go. Foil Majestic. Tear limb from limb. Not the one we would want, but also the first Most of the foil Majestics in this set are actually, most of the Majestics in this set are yellows for Bolton and Prism. I love that flavor. I love the color-centric stuff. I love Draconic being red, Light being yellow, and Ice being blue. Although, realistically, Icelander's kind of blue, it's not like a blue-only deck, while Prism is very much a yellow, very heavy yellow deck, and Dromai, you can actually just play no other color in the deck and it works. So, 2 packs left. This pack does not want to open. Not a great hit. Although this is some Secret Warrior tech. If you know, you know. Alright, last pack. So we've only hit 6 foil Majestics. Legendary Fable maybe take up the slot. There's a cold foil. Alright. Actually, I'm not unhappy about that. This has got some value. It's not super high, but another cold foil is great for the shop. Alright guys, that's the video. I'm going to go sort this, put it in stock, and then see you guys soon.